Dear brothers, it's about quality, not quantity.
So guys, it should be your conversation where you flow your presence is enough for a woman to want to be around you, not how much money you spend.
Dear sisters, it's about knowing your value.
My sisters out there, don't be afraid to scare a guy off just because you have standards.
Dear brothers, dear sisters, it's time to come together.
Hey, welcome to another edition of DBDS Live. I'm your host, Mel Money, with my sister here, DBDS brand ambassador Nicole. And listen, we have an exciting show for you today. How you feeling today, my sister?
Listen, I am good and super excited for today's show. Before we started everything, you see that I'm super fancy. I wanted to give a couple shout outs real fast, if that's okay.
Please do.
So I actually just left a photo shoot, shooting a commercial and an ad for Milk and Vivid of Littleton, Colorado. Nicole Marie Denver is the owner's name. She's so fly. I had hair and makeup done today. Hair by Becca and Jen Velez of The Beauty Abstract. So I just wanted to shout them out today. I'm actually mid-shoot. I got to go back when the show is over. So I wanted to give them those shout outs. Anyway, so today's show, it's going to be amazing. We have amazing guests. However, it is bittersweet. Mm-hmm. So my DBDS brothers and sisters, we cannot thank you enough for all of your love and support and participation this past year. 2020 has definitely been rough, to say the least. Today is actually our final show of the year, but not to worry. We will be returning Sunday, January 10th with a longer show, a new look, and dope new features, including the live Ask for Advice segment. Please stay tuned. Please stay tuned as we will announce the winner of our December Name That Segment contest. Not to mention, again, our guest today, two gorgeous, intelligent, amazing, incredible women with great wisdom and life experience. So with all of that being said.
I love it. I love it, Nicole. And nice, with our new segment starting next year, you'll be able to call in to ask your questions on the air, so don't go anywhere, because we will announce the winner towards the end of the show as to what this segment will be named. But overall, I'm feeling great, my sister, because like you stated, this is the last show before 2021, and we'll be returning back on January 10th. Same DBDS time, same DBDS platform. But think about it. It's about that time for New Year resolutions, right? New goals. A decisive plan of how to reach your goals so you could become a better version of yourself and to leave a legacy behind for the next generation. So, yes, we have two amazing guests, and I want to keep it flowing. And today's show is going to be titled, How Important It Is to Choose the Right Partner. What you think about that topic?
Listen, I love this topic. Last week, we talked about the courting process. So this week's topic actually digs deeper into what happens during that courting phase. This time allows you to use your time wisely and to determine if that person has the right qualities you're looking for and if they're the right partner. So yeah, it's dope.
Absolutely. And it's simply amazing when you have someone who is your best friend and your lover at the same time. And we want everyone to flourish in a healthy relationship. So before we pivot to our show, I would like to say happy birthday to our DBDS sister, Jess.
Hey!
Oh, yes.
Happy birthday to Jess.
Absolutely. And I also want to give a special shout out to Mo and his wife, Gina, get well. And to the whole DBDS family for rocking with us in 2020. You guys are simply amazing. Happy holidays, and we greatly appreciate you all. So with that being said, we are going to bring our first guest into the DBDS Live studio. And the first person that we're bringing into the studio is my sister, Gianni, from the DBDS Live.
Hey, Gianni.
Hi, guys.
Hello, my sister. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and why you're on the show today.
So, hi, guys. My name is Gianni. I'm originally from Springfield, Mass. I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been a hairstylist for the last 10 plus years. I'm also a network marketer with a company by the name of Monate, which allows me to run my own business, to build a team, to empower women, you know, to have the will and the courage to empower other women, to help other women lead so that themselves can become leaders. So if there's anybody out there that is willing to, you know, be coachable, like-minded, and it's just driven to owning their own business and wanting to do better in life, you know, let me know. I'm here. My name is Gianni Bansfield on Facebook, on Instagram. My name is True Omni Beauty. So yes, guys, I am here to just give you guys some nuggets on my experience in life through the journeys of relationships.
Excellent.
Glad to have you on the show today, my sister. And
Thank you for having me,
experience is
guys.
the best teacher. Absolutely. Now, coming next into the studio is my sister, Reena. Welcome to DBDS Live.
Hey,
Welcome.
Reena.
Hey.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey,
So tell the people,
everyone. Thank you for having me.
absolutely. Glad for you to be aboard. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and why you're on the show today.
Hi, I'm Reena Wolf. I'm coming out of Dallas, Texas. I am a oracle, and I have the ability to stream, especially in terms of business and branding. That's my specialty. I have the ability to stream straight from the divine, the truth and power of your business. And so if you are wanting to tap into this power, you can find me, add me as a friend on Facebook, add me, message me, and I will send you the opportunity to tap in and subscribe to my stream of truth that I give daily. And you can ask me questions and we work together. So that's
Beautiful.
who I am. That's what I do.
I love it.
Yes.
So please, my people, support what they do. They're true inspirational sisters, and I'm glad to have you both on the show. Nicole, you want to give one more shout out?
I did. At first, I wanted to say, like, all this black girl magic and black excellence on this panel, it is going to be so dope. But I wanted to give a quick shout out to Mr. Lawrence Hunter, who's watching right now. He was on the show last week, and he's the host of Captain Hunter's podcast. And I just wanted to give him a quick thank you for showing a girl that all good men aren't taken. So thank you for that.
Oh, all right. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get the show rolling. So today's show, we'll have some touch points on how choosing the right partner can affect your well-being. And I believe this goes back to the basic component of self-love and, you know, taking your time to understand that person before you dive right into a relationship. But before we get deep with this topic, we have a DBDS Anonymous section where people post their thoughts and their issues, and they look for some constructive criticism to help them along their journey. So I'll have my DBDS sister, Nicole, read the letter. Take it away, Nicole.
All right, so our DBDS sister says, I need an outside opinion because maybe it's me who is thinking wrong. Is it odd for a father to spend every single minute with his 10-year-old daughter? Here is the backstory. He was in prison for 8 years and has been out for 2 years. We have been dating for a year and he has her with him all of the time. When she visits him, there's no us time, and it truly bothers me. We don't live together, so I feel that he should make time for me only so we can begin making plans for the future. It shouldn't be all about him and his 10-year-old daughter because eventually she will have her own life. It is like those two are in the relationship and I'm the third wheel. He says that I distance myself from him, but I don't agree with him. I believe that he is selfish, and another thing, he can't go 5 minutes without saying his daughter's name. Now, maybe I'm overthinking this, so that's why I'm asking for opinions from my DBDS family. It blew up yesterday as we got into a huge argument because I gave him an ultimatum to spend equal or more time with me and not always include his daughter, or else the relationship is over. I don't even know if the relationship is going to survive. Hopefully he realizes how much I love him, and I pray that he makes the right decision if he wants our relationship to continue. I feel that it should be me and him making a life for her, not him making a life with me in it. I can't make him see how I feel. Tell me what you think, please.
Whew. Okay, sister. Well, like always, first of all, thank you so much for your letter because it does take courage to be open and to reach out. We do have some experienced, knowledgeable people that can help you, and we're going to tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. So, coming to my sister Gianni, What advice you have for this sister? How can we help her?
The first thing that comes to my mind when I, just listen to the letter is it sounds to me she needs a lot of self-growth, a lot of self-love, and just have a little bit more of a open mind, in the fact that this person has just, granted, yeah, it might have been 2 years ago, but he's trying to rebuild his relationship with his child that he missed out on. And for me, I felt it sounds like a jealousy to me. It sounds like you're not like. I don't want to say that you're not willing, because at the end of your letter you said that you're willing to go in this together with him, but it just sounds to me like, and you're kind of trying to control him in a sense. And I don't feel like that's fair, because if it was the other way around, would you like it if he gave you an ultimatum and tried controlling your life?
Very well said. Well said, my sister. And that's the thing. I mean, with relationships, controlling aspects is not a good way to go. I'm coming to my sister, Reena. What advice you have for this sister? How can we help her?
So this is what my teachers would call it's complicated. It doesn't sound like they are in a fully committed marriage yet. And that is important. That's an important key aspect, because of the position that she's in. Right now, they're not married, so they are in a position of, they should be, if they're in courtship, it's a position of decision making. So she's asking herself, do I want to spend the rest of my life with this man? And it's his life, and she would be deciding to come in as a complement to his life. So she gets to decide and choose, is this the life that I want? Is this the life that this is the man I want to follow? So it's not for her to decide for him. It's not for her to judge him and judge the situation. It's not for her to try to control him. It's for her to really look at this and make a decision. And giving an ultimatum is out of order, because they have not even giving an ultimatum in any case is not cool, but especially because they have not committed their lives together. So there's no standing for that. So she has to make a decision, take ownership, grow up, and say, is this the life I want? If not, let it go and find a man who is the one that she wants to follow, who is that she can be the woman for him.
Very well said. Very well said. Very powerful. I'm coming to my sister, Nicole. I mean, what are your thoughts on the letter, and how can we help a sister out?
Wow. First, I want to thank you, my DBDS sister, for reaching out. It takes courage to be vulnerable with our panel and audience. Secondly, I know that our advice may seem harsh, but we're definitely here to help you. So with that being said, I'm just going to be completely honest and blunt. This guy seems like an incredible man, father, and boyfriend to me. Sometimes a little bit of renewed perspective is all we need to change the situation. It sounds like he made some mistakes that put his life into a suspended reality, being prison. Then upon coming home, he had to begin a whole new life in a world that on paper only sees him as a criminal and an ex-con, in turn making it extremely difficult to rebuild family relationships, find employment, and housing, right? Those are just the basics. But most importantly, what he missed out on was the first 8 years of his daughter's life. Her first steps, her first words, her first day at school. So of course, he is being a father that she has been missing all this time. He's trying to make up for the time that they lost together. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. On top of all that, it sounds like he's including you. It doesn't sound like you're being left at home while he's with her. Your letter alludes to the fact that you have excluded yourself. Your attitude towards him and his child has you resenting them both. I think what we all need to remember is that children, they don't ask to be born. It's not their choice who their parents are or what situations they're born into. What speaks volumes to me is that her mother and father should both be praised for putting that little girl first. So listen, if you don't want a man with responsibilities, I suggest that you stay single and seek counseling to figure out why you feel that a man's purpose should be you.
Wow. Very well. Well, very well said, my sisters. As we stated, we're going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. We keep it real on DBDS. Listen, I'm a huge advocate for fathers in their child's life, as I believe, our sole purpose is to guide our daughters and sons in the right direction, to discipline, to lead, to provide and protect. And from my perspective, I believe it's unfair for you to dictate their connection that, they have for each other. Now, keep in mind, as my sister Nicole stated, that he missed half of his daughter's life. So he has a rare opportunity to become the best father he can be. Because one thing we know for sure, and one of our DBDS sayings is, time is non-refundable because you can never get it back. And I believe him choosing you as a partner will not benefit him or his daughter to establish a healthy relationship. I also believe there's no reason why there isn't, enough love to go around. In fact, I think that's a positive trait that he has a connection with his daughter, because honestly, there's a negative spotlight geared towards the majority of our brothers out there that were, all deadbeat dads. And that's not the case. And the simple fact that you can't see it or see this amazing trait tells me that you're extremely insecure and you're jealous. And as Reena stated, you guys are dating. There's no committed relationship, anytime someone communicates in a demanding way and come up with these ultimatums, you come off as a tyrant, not a lover. And I'm glad that he sees these traits early on, because you did mention that you're dating. So my advice, as everyone stated, man, you need self-growth. As Gianni stated, you just need self-growth, and you need to work on yourself and your insecurities, learn to be flexible, learn to be a whole person instead of looking for someone to complete you. So thank you again for your letter, because DBDS will tell you strictly what we think, and I'm glad you reached out to us. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and pivot to our show. But before we do, my sister Reena want to add one more thing. So take it away, Reena.
Yeah, just one more thing. So yes. I mentioned my teachers before. Baba Richard Moore, Srinama Moore, they are amazing teachers on marriage. And one of the things that they have taught and I have observed from them when it comes to marriage and blended families is that when you have a child from another relationship and you marry in together, it's like that child is not just your child or his child. Oh, that's his kids and her kids. It's our kids. Like it's you have those children together. And so if you are not married to this man, the question I would suggest you to ask yourself is, do I want to step in to be a mother to this little girl? It's like, do I want her to be mine too? And so if you're feeling like you're holding resentment against this little girl, then that might be a sign that maybe this isn't, maybe you're not the woman for him. So you have to make that decision. So just wanted to bring that in. That's it.
I appreciate it.
Excellent point.
Great insight. Absolutely. So before we pivot to our show, we got a few comments already. First from our brother, Captain Hunter. Can you see it, Nicole?
Mr. Lawrence Hunter, hey. He says, damn right. 8-year-old bid missing his daughter and trying to make up for lost time. And this chick trying to get between that, kick that jealous chick to the curb.
Oh, dang. Okay, Captain Lawrence, appreciate that.
That is blunt and direct, okay?
Okay, got another comment from one of our sisters.
Hey, AP says, hey, family. Hey, AP, we look forward to having you back on the show in 2021, girl.
Absolutely. Thank you all for tuning in. So we're going to go ahead and pivot to our first topic of the show. And the first subtopic that we're going to discuss is, based on choosing the right partner, I mean, you definitely want to have someone that displays emotional stability. I can't tell you how important this is when you're out there in the dating world. So let me size this up.
I love that picture.
I love that picture. So the stability of a healthy relationship, I feel, is a safe haven for both individuals and a peace of mind, because you feel comfortable with the right partner to lower your wall and express your feelings in a positive manner, and vice versa. So no matter what the situation is. So I'm coming to my sister Reena. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
Emotional stability. What comes to mind immediately is maturity, because it takes maturity to have that emotional stability. A lot of times when we don't have the maturity, we can be emotionally messy, and project a lot, and have a lot of expectations. And sometimes those can be unfair expectations. So I think one of the first things in order to have that emotional stability is to really do the work, the internal work to grow and mature, so that you have resilience. So when things come in, you don't automatically become brittle to where you break and you're unable to sustain each other. It's important to grow enough so that when things come up, that you don't just run out the door, or you don't just throw a fit. It's, you can really look at what's happening, look at what's present, and make a decision from a sovereign place, from an adult place.
Yes, I love what you stated, that, because there's so many of our brothers and sisters out there living their second childhood. When they don't get their way, they catch a tantrum, and that's not emotional stability. Thank you, my sister. I'm coming to my sister Gianni. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
I can refer right back to like what Reena said, as far as it's becoming an adult, becoming mature. And I'm going to keep referring back to personal growth, self-growth, because you always want to consider your partner's feelings as well as them considering your feelings. Because when someone doesn't show that they care, that person now becomes immature. I mean, not immature. I'm sorry, guys. That person becomes, how can I say, not confident, especially if, like, for instance, if it was my husband and I was to pitch something to him and I just felt like he just wasn't considering my feelings and how I felt about what I was presenting to him, it would make me feel very insecure. It would make me feel like he's not concerned about my feelings or how I feel about something, and make me back away from him. It's having that open line of communication.
So very well said. And that's important in order for a relationship to thrive and to continue to go in the right direction. I'm coming to my sister, Nicole. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
So being in a relationship isn't all about being crazy in love and happy all the time. What also helps is your ability to communicate, to trust, and being okay with your own self first. Emotional stability is what can take your relationship from just a fling to a long-term commitment. I mean, imagine being with someone who actually listens to you, who doesn't jump to conclusions or judge you, someone who makes you want to jump out of your comfort zone and can be completely vulnerable with them. We have to be whole individuals emotionally and stable ourselves before we can even recognize this trait in someone else. If we're in a situation where we aren't ready for a relationship or we're broken, everything that an emotionally stable person does for us is going to seem like a setup. Our own insecurities end up self-sabotaging the potential of a healthy relationship. And we all know what happens when a toxic person comes into a healthy person's life. They cause emotional trauma and bring nothing but pain and destruction.
Whew. And just that alone, you three sisters, one of our brothers just put this up here, the fire emoji. So it's about that time to drop the first bomb on the show. That segment. From my perspective, the emotional stability, I feel like If it's good emotions, then it keeps the relationship stimulated. But if you come across challenging times, which occurs in every relationship, and it creates solutions to overcome certain obstacles. And if you're dating with a purpose and looking for a serious, healthy relationship, especially if it leads to marriage or to establish a family with the right partner, you want your children to look up to you. You want to lead by example. And that's where that emotional stability comes into play. They'll be able to see their father treat their mother like a queen, the mother to treat the father like a king. And the emotional stability will be the blueprint or the foundation which will set a chain reaction on how important love, affection, as well as respect is. And most importantly, I believe a healthy marriage or a healthy relationship also affects our world, because that loving home makes it easier for two loving people to go into society and be productive. And these people can give the world just, instead of just taking from it, they could just give their gifts to the world. Because the children they raise can take this blueprint, follow their parents' examples to become productive citizens, and add value to the workplace. And that's part of the reason why it's so important to choose the right partner. Because from a man's perspective, if he's a unfit boyfriend, then more than likely he's going to become an unfit father. If she's an unfit sister, more than likely she's going to become an unfit mother. You don't want that, right? So now it is time to pivot to our next subtopic.
Fire.
Thank you, sis. I can continue to ramble on. Appreciate that. So we're going to go ahead and continue with the show. That's how we get down. So the next subtopic that we're going to touch on is, if you want to choose the right partner, you need somebody to, support you, that emotional support, right? You see the sister right here, she may have just opened her shop, or they probably open it together and they supporting each other. That's why that matters. So I'm going to go ahead and size this up. The right partner will do things to show their support for your dreams, your goals, and your ambitions. And normally they take a genuine interest in your success as well as your well-being. And they'll do so on a continuous basis, even if others have turned their back on you. Right? So I'm coming to my sister Gianni. How important it is, this topic, to choose someone that is supportive of you?
To me, it is the most important thing in the world. Just because, and this falls with any relationship, a relationship between a mother and a daughter, a relationship between a daughter and a father, any which way you want to go with it. Because as humans, we naturally look for love. We naturally look to bond with somebody. And, when you have whatever it is you're trying to pursue in life, whatever it is you're doing, we want the closest person to us to support us. And when people don't support us, depending on where they're at mentally, can shut down. They can truly shut down and say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. So it all boils down to showing love. It's all about love. This is what this world is about. It's about love. It's about showing people we care. It's about giving value to other people, massive value to other people, and knowing that you're always going to be there. You might not be there when they want you to be, but you're still there in some type of shape or form.
Absolutely. And that's what it is. That love is the key. I think best relationships, you're supposed to go there to give. Just give.
Absolutely. Give real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Give with intention. Seriously, no, give with intention. Don't expect to give and then in return, you're like, oh, I'm expecting something in return. Because you're not just genuinely doing it if you're just giving and right. expecting something in return. No, we're here on this earth for a purpose. God has allowed us to come here for a purpose, and our purpose is to shed light, to shed love into other people's lives, regardless if you're with this person, not with this person. It's not about, being in a competition with that person.
Facts. And we're going to touch more into that with our next subtopic. I'm coming to my sister Reena. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
Well, I want to come from an angle of the understanding the traditional masculine and feminine roles, because I believe in bringing that in, and I believe that well, at least just coming from my own perspective, I desire a man that makes decisions, that will lead, right? And so my position in that from the feminine is to support his decisions, right? To support his the direction that he's taking the relationship, the marriage and everything. So that support is so crucial, because that's where like this power comes from. It's like the feminine is not weak. The feminine is powerful in that supportive position. Because without that support, then nothing really happens, right? Or it's very discouraging for the decisions in the direction that he's leading it. So I feel that looking for the right partner, I would be looking for, who do I want to support? Whose decisions do I trust to support? And then I guess from a man's perspective, he will be looking for who will support my decisions, who will support me. So that's my perspective on the support aspect.
Love it. Definitely fire on that one. So true. I mean, I always use the analogy of the rocket ship. The man, he's the ship. The woman is that fuel pouring into that man. And the more nurturing and the emotional backbone she gives, that man keep on going up, going up, going up. But if you choose the wrong partner, she's going to take that fuel out, and his rocket ship is going to go down. So that's my analogy on that. Very well said. I'm coming to my sister Nicole. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
So when it comes to emotional support, this is about providing love, providing support, providing reassurance and acceptance, even encouragement in a relationship. It's especially important in times of stress or sadness, because it stabilizes the relationship. It gives the relationship balance, and it provides a positive foundation for both partners. Now, I don't know how many of you guys watched our show last week, but we had an anonymous letter, and the couple, they decided to take a break, but they didn't really discuss the guidelines other than they were just agreeing to go on pause. He decided to use the no contact rule, when in all actuality, that rule is meant for people who don't intend on having a reunion or rekindling their relationship. A few days later, the girl in the relationship, she had a death in the family. And instead of him putting their relationship drama aside and the relationship status aside, he decided to keep silent and failed to be there for her emotionally. When they reconnected, he was completely ready for her. He was healed and whole and ready for her, but she had already moved on. Very, very sad story, but I bring it up because it's a really good example of why emotional support is critical. You can love someone until the cows come home. If I can't count on you in moments of stress and tragedy and trauma, why are you here? So that's my take.
Man. I mean, these are so many important factors that you want to pay attention to when, you're looking for a suitable mate, right? Glad you brought that up. But before I give you my comment, I have a sister right here, my sister Julie.
Julie River, she says, hi, just there to CT. I assume that's Connecticut Singles Groups.
Oh, okay. We appreciate that, Julie, for your support and everything. Appreciate that.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes. So, yes, I mean, choosing the right partner means that, in my view, you'll have a main go-to source for inspiration and encouragement. And, and normally a high-value man or woman prefer to have someone by their side that could be their source of strength during tough times and a companion to celebrate with during their good times. And just from personal experience, I mean, I can honestly say that one of the things that helped me to make the decision to marry my wife was her support. Because deep down, I've always had big dreams and ambitions, and I knew that some types of women were on board for that, with my dream to become a reality, or for me to share my knowledge with the world. And I realized during the friendship zone, I got comfortable talking to my wife April about my goals, my dreams, and she was quite supportive of them, where other people have turned my back. I mean, I even have family that turned their back on me. And to me, that means her support was more than just her words. It was her actions behind her words, because she became more interested by applying her time and effort for me to get where I am today. And the reason why I share that brief story is to emphasize a person's character. These are great traits to have, because you want to be with someone that is going to be there for you when the chips are down, right? And from my perspective, someone who's your emotional backbone is definitely one that you can trust during good times and during bad times. And that within itself is a green flag. So before we get going, I'm just going to come back to my sister, Nicole. She want to say something else on this topic.
Yeah, I do. In regards to what you said, I just want to give a big ups and bomb drop for April, who's being a living example of what women and wives should be striving to be. So you're amazing, April.
You guys are so kind. Thank you. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. Sit tight. This is DBDS Live. Don't go anywhere.
Are you single? Do you know about DBDSsingles.com? Are you ready to meet a quality man or classy woman? The DBDS brothers want you to know that love and loyalty still exists. So if you're ready to meet relationship-ready people, sign up today at DBDSsingles.com. Let's make love and loyalty dope again.
Hey, we're blackout for a second. Welcome back to DBDS. Listen, we're just chopping it up with my sister Reena, my sister Gianni, my sister Nicole, and we've just been killing it, dropping knowledge like we always do. So before we pivot to our show, have some shout outs I want to give, and we're going to read some comments. So shout out to my man JR. Shout out to my man Anthony. Yo, appreciate you for rocking with us, brother. Shout out to, if I mispronounce your name, I apologize. Lidorius Harford. Shout out to Monica, Tawana, Maria, my girl Vanessa, my girl Diane. Shout out to my man Gotham in Bangalore, India.
Hey, international.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. And before we get going, do have a comment right quick. Boom, there you go.
So Lawrence Hunter is asking a question. He says, how many friends have I lost pursuing my dreams? The answer is none. They were never friends to begin with, right? Facts.
That's facts. Oh, man. Drop a bomb from Mr. Captain. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. So we're going to go ahead and continue with our show. And the next subtopic we want to touch on that Gianni has mentioned is part of choosing the right partner. Man, emotional health is really important. So I'm going to kind of break it down from this context. All right. So let me key this up. So pretty much from my perspective, as I mentioned earlier, I believe that healthy relationships, you have to go there to give, and a selfless person with healthy boundaries is an amazing trait to have, because it shows how genuine that person truly care about you. It also shows that they will never use a good deed they did for you as leverage to get something back from you, or to remind you of everything they've done for you as a way to rub it in your face on a consistent basis. So with that being said, I am coming to my sister Gianni. I know you went over this a little bit. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
I feel that real quick, so for instance, I want to give you a little quick scenario. When for emotional health, my husband in the beginning used to say certain things like, I expect this. And I would get very defensive because I would be like, well, what do you mean you expect? And he was just saying, I expect to be basically treated a certain way. And if you can't treat me a certain way, then keep it moving, and he would say other things too. And I didn't understand it in the beginning because I had just recently, well, not recently, but I was already in a situation where I felt like I was being controlled. So when he would say, I expect this, I felt like I was being controlled. But it wasn't that I was being controlled. It was just the simple fact that I had a man that was leading me instead of controlling me. And it meant a lot, and I just had to step back and look at it from a different perspective and say, okay, he's not trying to control me. He's just trying to lead me in the right direction, of our marriage, and say, I'm here to be with you and help you, but you're also not going to, I don't want to say disrespect because I wasn't disrespecting him, but you're also not going to just like feel like you can say or do or whatever it is that he didn't like at that moment. So it's just really, for me, just kind of bonding with that person.
It showed it's basically what you describe about your husband, that he had healthy boundaries, and there's a lot of there's some cupcake brothers out there that that don't have a spine, they don't have healthy boundaries. And I think when you don't have boundaries and you get walked all over, then the relationship is not healthy at all. But when you do have healthy boundaries, and people can gravitate towards it. So kudos to your husband.
Real quick, like I just want to say something. I'm sorry. And I want to say it's okay to have boundaries. I didn't think it was okay because I didn't understand it at that time. But it is okay to have boundaries with anybody, to say, this is what I expect, and be strong about that. And if that's what you believe in, just.
Well said. Very well said. I'm coming to my sister, Reena. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
Well, I definitely think it's a really, 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 really important topic when it comes to, you mentioned not expecting to get something in return, or just like throwing it in someone's face when they, like calling it in, that kind of thing. And I think that comes from a belief that you and your partner are like separate, and it's just like, I gave you this, you give me that. It's like this task pro quo. And I don't think that you can build something sustainable. You can't build a sustainable marriage on the give and take, 50-50 type energy. I believe in terms of, that health. It's just a matter of having that unification. And this is something that my teachers, Barbara, Richard, and Reena, Namaste, teach on, that unification of like, okay, now we're having boundaries around us as a whole, not between us. We're having that unification in a marriage. And so I'm not married, but I'm so inspired, and having this important to me to be able to build toward that health, so that I'm not ever looking at my potential husband or my husband like, well, I did all this for you, why aren't you doing this back for me? It's more of like, let's be one unit. Because if you think about yourself, like, you don't tell yourself, hey self, I did this for me, so I should give me this in return. Like, you don't, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. So like, why would you do that to the person that you're one with, that you're one passion, why would you do that to the person that you're married to? So Yeah,
Love
so
it.
I think it's just like really, yeah, that piece is really important.
Mm. Yeah, I love my sister. Listen, I always tell people, you are not, if the right person, you will not be competing at all. With the right person, it'll be more of a collaboration between you and that person. I always tell people, if you're more against your man or woman more than you and your husband against the world, then you're in the wrong relationship. You know, it's supposed to be
Right.
collaboration, right? Coming to my sister Nicole, what are your thoughts on this topic?
Reena, that was really dope. And I'm gonna get off topic here for a minute. It just reminded me of something that was just hilarious to me. Like when you're talking about, well, you don't tell yourself that, right? So I,
Right.
I heard the comedian in regards to like guns don't kill people, people kill people. Well, what if you applied that same saying to toast? Toast don't toast toast. Toast toast toast. Like yeah, it absolutely makes no sense. So if it doesn't make sense, why are you doing it? Just
Right.
saying. Completely off point. Sorry. It just that's what it made me think of. Anyway. So there's nothing more frustrating to me than someone who keeps tabs on the good deeds they do for you. If you got to keep tabs, it's not a good deed to begin with. When someone does this, it is a clear indication that their intentions are impure. In a healthy relationship, loving on your partner, doing things for them should be something that comes naturally because you want to see them happy. You want to see them smile. You crave their smile. So, not so you can get something out of them. So, when you do things out of love, your partner automatically returns the sentiment because they naturally want to see you smile. Now, let's be clear. Returning sentiment does not mean you bought me jewelry for my birthday, so you gonna buy me jewelry for my birthday, or I'm gonna buy you jewelry for your birthday. That's just not how it works. It means I want to do things for you that will make you feel the way you made me feel in my own special way.
Mm. Yeah, very well said. I mean, that's that selfless attitude, right? I mean, I think that's such an amazing trait to have when you come across someone like that. And from my perspective, it should always be a challenge to see who can treat their partner the best without keeping score. And I feel like that within itself keeps the relationship stimulated. Because the reality is, if you're dealing with someone who can remember every little thing they've done for you, or they can list every act of kindness within their conversation just to remind you how much they look out for you, that's not a selfless person. I mean, that's a selfish person. And I believe it's very important to pay attention to these traits before you commit to someone, because a selfless person will never mention their good deeds or thrown in your face all the time. And also, when someone keeps score within this context, this can also translate to an aggressive communicator, one who rather keeps score based on the battles they have with you or the arguments. So, just to justify their point that they're always right about something, they don't respect your opinion. And when it comes to that, which can translate further down the line, that can definitely point the relationship in the wrong direction. So if you're a selfless person with healthy boundaries and you come across a selfless person with healthy boundaries, then let your actions speak louder than your words. Go there to give and never mention your good deeds. Do that for that special person. Never keep score. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and pivot. But before we do, my sister Gianni, she want to add something else to the topic. Take it away, my sister.
So I just wanted to talk about real quick. Before me and my husband had got married, I never heard about this book, and I feel like anybody that is seeking to be in a marriage, they should read this book. It's called The 5 Love Languages. That book really opened my eyes to understanding that person's love language. And because a lot of people, you don't know the way they love. Like you can constantly give someone material things, and think that they're okay with that. And it's just like, no, their love language isn't gifts. Their love language is time. For me, my love language is time. I don't care about gifts. I'm not, it'll be nice to get a gift here and there and things of that nature. But
I need time. I need you to show me that you're willing to be there. You know, I don't care if we're sitting on the couch not doing anything. Just the fact that you're right there and we're just sharing that moment together means the world to me.
And by the way, the author of that book is Gary Chapman. That's one of my favorite books. You know, so yes, excellent book. Pick it up, read it. My love language is act of service. I love just doing things. I'm more like hands-on. I can go in the middle of a hurricane and come back with some IHOP pancakes for the family. You know, so
And they ain't gonna be soggy.
So we're gonna go ahead and pivot to our next topic. And the next topic that we're gonna touch on is emotional transparency.
Aw.
So this is a really good picture within itself, breaking down the good communication aspect between him and his significant other. So let me just key this up. So choosing the right partner also have to do with someone who will tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. And I feel like that's how you learn off your partner with the emotional freedom to truly express how you feel without feeling uncomfortable or feel that you have to walk on eggshells just to get your point across. Right? So I'm coming to my sister, Reena. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
Who? I'm sorry to hear.
You, boo.
Me? Okay. I didn't hear. Sorry. My thoughts. I absolutely. That's actually something that I crave. Like I long for that type of safety within a relationship to really express my true feelings. And one of the things that I've been learning is that there's a difference between feelings, authentic feelings, and like egoic type of thoughts, right? So like to a lot of the egoic thoughts kind of masquerade themselves as feelings, but really they're judgments. So to bring in like a bunch of critiques or like, well, I feel like you're doing this. I feel like blah, blah, blah. Whenever you say like, I feel like blah, 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 it's probably not a feeling. It's probably a judgment or an egoic thought. So I think it's important in terms of this emotional transparency. It's important to first get clear on what are your actual feelings. Like figure out your feelings first before just vomiting it all out there to whoever you're dealing with, you know? So figure out what do I feel? Hey, I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling exuberant. I'm feeling, you know, tired, or, you know, these are like actual feelings that you are feeling maybe even in your body. You can express that to your significant other. And I can only speak from a woman's perspective. I can't judge how men should express their feelings, if at all. But from a woman's perspective, if I feel that if I can express an actual feeling, then the man in my life can say, oh, baby, why do you feel that way? And then that's where you can start to, you know, work through things. But I think that it's kind of unfair to just throw out a bunch of stuff and then expect the other person to figure it out for you, or wade through it, or deal with being like judged and projected on. I think it's important for us as women to do that work first, of getting in touch with our feelings, getting in tune with our bodies, getting in tune with what we're feeling, and taking responsibility for that first before bringing it to the man.
Man, you're down today. I'll tell you that much. I love your points of views on that. And sometimes it's not what you say when it comes to your feelings, it's how you say it, right? You know,
How you say it,
if I'm
right.
coming home, if I'm coming home and my wife's like, take out the damn trash, you know, that's gonna stun me, you know. But if she say, hey baby, you had a long day, you know, later on, can you take out the trash? Like in her nurturing voice, I'm gonna do it, you know. So it's also how you say it. I'm coming to my sister Gianni. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
So my thoughts is first, big with anything in a relationship is communication. You have to communicate, because I was a very sensitive person at one point in time. And so anything and everything someone did to me, I took it personally. And I've learned to not take things personally, because by me taking things personally, in my mind, it allowed me to judge. It allowed me to assume. And you can't judge and assume if you don't know what is really going on, because all that's doing is building a story in your head. And constantly, if you constantly build this story or allow this story or give fire to this story, you're just painting these pictures of scenarios that are not true. So when your partner says something to you, don't take it a certain way. Just remember to communicate with what they're telling you. That's where the communication comes in, because there's times, like you said, as simple as taking out the trash, I would say something, or my husband would say something to me, and I'll look and I'll be like, huh? And I'm like, what? You know, and he'll be like, I didn't mean it like that. Or sometimes he'll be like, this is how I meant it, and I'm like, okay, but you got to know how to say it to me, because now all that's gonna do is turn on a switch, and I'm like, you know, and that whole attitude, that gets you nowhere. So it's just like, okay, hey babe, what did you mean by that? Before you jump that gun and have assumptions, you know, and start judging before you guys get to even talk about it. So I've learned, for me, to not judge or assume a situation if we have yet to even communicate about it. So we should definitely communicate about our emotions and how they transpire to that next person before it can turn into something real ugly, when it doesn't need to be like that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your insight. Yes, absolutely. I mean, the more that you can freely express yourself with your partner, the more that they feel comfortable with lowering their wall. And that is right. Communication is the key. I'm coming to my sister, Nicole. What are your thoughts on this topic?
Well, I did want to address both of our sisters on the panel, Reena and Gianni. I like to call that emotional vomit, when you react immediately and spew everything that you're thinking or feeling before actually thinking about it. Are you really offended? Or are you just in a mood? So yeah, bravo to both of you guys for bringing that up, because that's so true. I think sometimes we all think we want someone that tells us everything we want to hear, right? At times, the confirmation or the encouragement from a person we love is what we need. However, unless our partner challenges us to think of things from a different perspective, we won't grow. We become stagnant. You can't trust someone who constantly is gaslighting you and has no backbone. Being honest with your partner also facilitates a healthy communication, like all the panel was saying. This is also necessary for a functional relationship. Couples need to be able to talk to each other openly and be real with one another. That's what the true connection is all about. That commitment to being honest also means that both people will be proactive about addressing any tension or conflicts in the relationship. You know, when you butt heads, it's easier to have that conversation on what the issue really is when you're focused on honesty and being transparent.
Playing the emotional vomit. I love that. You know?
You can use that in a book if you want.
Oh, absolutely. So my whole thing is the emotional transparency for me, you know, is related to emotional intelligence, which means not following your feelings or instincts and taking your time to have an honest look at what's happening and then deciding what action you may take. And part of that transition before you decide to take it to the next level is a person's emotional temperature, which is based on their reaction when it comes to a disagreement or how they handle pressure of life, or something that's not out of their control, or something that's out of their control, excuse me. And the two concepts I mentioned in the book, Nicole mentioned, that I'm working on right now, is related to emotional temperature. I do have a couple of chapters on it. And part of these components, the first one I discuss is called thermostat, which means that you're setting the temperature of your life. In other words, you're in control of your emotions, and your emotions are not in control of you. And the second concept is called thermometer, which means you are reacting to external influences. For example, a person may have like an aggressive outburst when someone doesn't agree with you, or turning over to unhealthy drugs as a void to disregarded pain, just to name a few. But this sort of behavior means you're not in control of your emotions, and your emotions are controlling you. So my advice would be to pay attention to how a person reacts in stressful situations, and how they handle conflict as well as disagreements that will give you the insight whether this person, is a good fit for you. All right. So with that being said, we're going to take one last break. That's right, one last break. On our way back, we're going to summarize our show, and we're going to hit off our Jerry Springer moment. And also we're going to announce the winner of our Name That Segment contest, which will occur in 2021 for our members. Check this out. We'll be able to call in live and ask the panel for advice. We got our own DBDS phone number, everything. So,
Mel got a microphone. You see it?
oh, I got the microphone. So sit tight. This is DBDS Live. DBDS Live. Sorry if I scared you and everything.
He's not.
But
He's
listen,
not.
we've been chopping it up. We've been dropping knowledge. I'm back here with my sister Gianni, my sister Reena, and my sister DBDS ambassador Nicole, and it's been nothing but wisdom and knowledge from the panel. And if you missed this show, don't worry. Our show will be on heavy rotation throughout the week, so you can check it out on YouTube, as well as our group page, DBDS, if you haven't joined, as well as my personal page. For now, it is about that time to share our final thoughts. That's right, the Jerry Springer moment. And now I'm coming to my sister Reena. Give the people who's watching your final thoughts for today.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh,
Can you
sorry.
repeat it? Sorry.
Yes, just give the people your final thoughts of today's show.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm really excited because this is the kind of thing that a lot of people need to hear these things. Right? These aren't necessarily the things that people want to hear, because sometimes the truth cuts like a sword. But for the most part, I think that, my overall viewpoint and everything that I've said and the topics that have come up is that this is really about personal responsibility. This is really about taking your power, because with responsibility comes power, and vice versa. With power comes responsibility. So you have to realize how powerful you are to create the life that you're living, to create the things that you want, and to make decisions when things come up. So, you're co-creating, with the universe. You're co-creating with the life that you're living. So if that's the case, you're never a victim of everything that's happening to you. You're never a victim of your spouse. You're never a victim of your relationship or whatever you're experiencing. It's up to you. You're not a victim of your feelings, right? It's up to you to decide what actions you're going to take. It's up to you to decide what you want. It's up to you to tap into your feelings and really understand what it is that you desire. And so I think that sums up for me, that sums up what all this was about, because if we just bumble along and just allow ourselves to just fall into a relationship or fall into something without making intentional decisions, then that's what creates that victim mentality. Like, oh, this is all happening to me, and they did this to me, and they did this to me, and I'm whoa, it's me. Like, no, you have responsibility and power and authority. Take it and live your life and make decisions that you can be happy with.
Facts.
Excellent.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Coming to my sister Gianni, what are your final thoughts that you want to share with the audience?
So it goes. I thought we were gonna get the little fire emoji. So what I have to say basically piggybacks what Reena said, and it's all about you. It's all about your mindset. You never want to be a to me person, meaning you're always vulnerable or not vulnerable. You're always feeling like everything's happening to you. Like Reena said, it's me. Why is this happening to me? And you're playing the victim. You don't ever want to play the victim. You know, you want to be the person that's a for me person. Why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? And how can I learn from this? You know, you are the person that makes these decisions and are able to control your feelings. It's easier said than done. I feel like when people are not there mentally, it always starts with mental, your mindset. That's where it starts. If you're not there mentally, it is hard for you to see that and envision that. But if you really take the time to do a lot of personal development and self-development, you'll be able to get there and understand what it is that we're saying. I had came across something and from my mentor, and I truly love it. And I just want to read it to you guys real quick. It says, I am important. I have important work to do. I have the ability to choose. I choose to create energy, warmth, acceptance, productivity, and spread love. I am powerful beyond measures. I create anything I set my mind on. I constantly tap into the divine power within me. I am on a mission. I fulfill my mission. I live my mission. I speak from my heart. I live for my values. My values are the basics of respect, decisions, and actions. I seek to understand. I seek to learn. I seek to serve others. I learn from my mistakes. I always focus on a high frequency. I celebrate my micro success. I always seek happiness and meaning in everything I do in life. So with that being said, guys, I hope that can inspire you guys to love yourself and be great people and just allow big energy and vibrations into your life. Anything that you feed your soul to will just keep growing, whether it's positivity or negativity. And we here, all four of us, are nothing but powerful energy, and God brought us together for a reason.
Man, perfect show to get the momentum going in 2021. Thank you.
Yes, we're running into 2021.
Go.
And to my sister, Nicole, what are your final thoughts for today's show?
So, Gianni, Reena, being the final show of 2020, you guys have been amazing. I literally have the chills. You guys are inspiring and beautiful and just a beautiful example of living and life and learning and growth. So I just thank you so much for coming on the show. So normally I give my final thoughts. And I put some thought into it, but I decided not to do that today. I'm just going to go off the cuff. So 3 things. First of all, I wanted to give a huge thank you, not only to you, Mel, definitely to Mo Triplet. You guys brought me on the show as a guest in March of this year, and now I am co-hosting with you, which is amazing. In the absence of Mo, Mo, we love you and we hope you get better soon. But the fact that the DBDS audience has embraced me and accepted me is just amazing. So I didn't want to get my glass out. I poured a glass of champagne, top it off just a little bit to toast to you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. You guys are incredible. Thank you again for everything that I've learned, and all of that. Let me hold on.
And we got to announce the winner.
You can't toast without drinking. You got to drink.
Right.
And then you could just pretend like.
Okay, I'm done. There we go.
And then number 2, I definitely, yes, let's announce the winner. You guys, we had some amazing suggestions for our new show topic, which is, like Mel was saying earlier, you're going to be able to call in or text in on Facebook and get an answer and advice from the whole panel. So we have a winner that was decided by you, the audience, and that winner is, drum roll, anybody? Is Ken Lawrence. Hey, Ken, you are going to get a signed copy of DBDS, or excuse me, Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters, Listen Up, signed by your brother Tremel here. You're also going to get 1 month's free advertising in January, whether that be for yourself, your business, or anything that you want to promote. We are here for you. And third, I always got to give my tagline before logging out. Always love yourself first, and that right one will find you.
Yeah. Congratulations, Ken. And the name of the segment is going to be called The Exchange.
I'm so sorry. See what happens when I'm not prepared?
That's going to be the name of the segment when people call in. It's going to be called The Exchange, which is dope, and creative name, and we'll touch base with you, Ken, on more things about the prize and so forth. So before I provide you with my final thoughts, I just want to thank this amazing panel for sharing their wisdom, their experience, their knowledge. Gianni, Reena, thank you so much for coming onto the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we'll be returning Sunday. Absolutely. Thank you. So we'll be returning Sunday, January 10th. In the meantime, you can catch up on all of our shows in 2020. So I just want to finish off and say that you should hang around couples that are at a place where you and your ideal partner want to go. And that could be a motto as to the kind of traits you're looking for in a long-term or lifetime commitment. Because choosing the right partner can benefit you and push you beyond your wildest imagination. This person will respect you at all times. They can encourage you and hold you down compared to choosing the wrong partner who may keep you stuck, or one who doesn't respect you or discourage you on a consistent basis and keep you miserable for a very long time because you allow it. But the key to choosing the right partner is to make sure you love yourself, and that way you'll have the boundaries which are established. So that way you know who to entertain and who are relationship ready. So once again, I want to thank this amazing panel. Much love to the DBDS family. Happy holiday, Happy New Year.
Excuse me, can I get the bomb drop for the last time in 2020, please? Yo, Mel Money, send us off into 2021.
Hi.
Bye, you guys. Happy New Year.